Hey guys, it's Kaylee. I'm back with another What Sold from Last Week video. We're going to be going over some highlighted sales from last week. I'll give you my sales numbers on how much I made in sales last week on all the platforms that I sold on. If you're new here, hi, my name is Kaylee. I'm an online reseller. I find used clothing at thrift stores and I flip them online for a profit. My channel is about teaching other people to resell and make money online. All the links that I mentioned in the video are down below in the description. You can click on the link tree down below and it will pop up my eBay and Poshmark closet if you're interested in viewing. Drop a comment down below if you have any questions or you just want to say hi. You can also send me a message over on Instagram. If you like this reseller content, don't forget to subscribe and hit the notification bell. That way you get notified when I make new videos. Let's jump into today's video. Guys, so all sales in this video are between August 30th through September 5th. That is a Sunday through a Saturday, and that is how I calculate my weeks. I had a pretty good week in terms of a sales total. I sold 45 items for a gross sales total of $1,670.89, an average sale price of $37.13. Total cost of goods for everything that I sold last week was $187.50. Now, I had kind of a weird week on eBay. I only sold 24 items with a gross sales of $616.89. Very, very low for me. It is not very often that Poshmark surpasses by so much my eBay sales. It's usually either neck and neck or Poshmark's a little lower. So I was really surprised by that this week. I don't know what happened with eBay. I saw a lot of people posting that it was a really slow sales week for them. I'm hoping that it was just the holiday week and everybody was out and about, so they weren't really shopping online, and I'm hoping that this week my eBay sales will continue to go up. Now on Poshmark, I had a really great sales week. I sold 20 items for a gross sales total of $1,006. Now this happened because I sold a really high dollar item, which is why my average sale price on Poshmark is so high, and I will show you that item later. If you've watched some of my Ship With Me videos, or if you're on my Instagram, you might already know what the sale is, but I figured I would still show that sale today for anyone who hasn't seen it because it's definitely a bolo. I did sell one item on another platform. That platform was Depop. I sold one item on there for a gross sales total of $48. Starting on eBay, I wanted to start with this belt because I recently did a belt video of all the belts I've been picking up. And I know I talk often about belts and how well they can do and how it's kind of a place that people don't look at the thrift store and you're really missing out. So this belt is by the brand Zapata Designs. I actually didn't pick it up specifically for the brand. I didn't know anything about the brand. All I knew is that it felt like quality leather and it had an interesting kind of statement buckle with that geometric buckle. After looking up this brand, I saw that this brand does pretty well, but honestly, it's just because of the style of these belts. This one in particular I had listed for $29.99 and it did sell at full price. I'd say that this brand is definitely worth picking up, but even belts that are made of leather and have similar buckles are worth picking up. Just make sure that you do your comps, and like I said before, brand doesn't always matter when it comes to belts. It's people looking for specific designs. This next one is a t-shirt, a graphic t-shirt by the anime show Death Note. And this is a really, really popular show I found out when I did comps on this item. I have mine listed for $34.99. It did sell at full price. It didn't take very long to sell and I had a lot of interest. So I definitely say if you come across an anime t-shirt, do your comps, but it might be worth a decent amount. And this wasn't even a vintage shirt. It is a modern shirt, but I was really happy with that sale. So this sold for full price at $34.99. Next is this pair of Lululemon shorts. I've actually sold quite a bit of Lululemon this past week, so you're going to see quite a few items. I assume that you're all familiar with this brand, but if you're not, they usually don't have their tags inside. It's usually ripped out by the owner to make it more comfortable to wear. So you can usually only determine that it is Lululemon by finding this logo somewhere on it. And then because the tag is usually ripped out, that usually also means that you're not going to know the size. And they put size dots in really strange places. So if you're not already selling Lululemon, those are two things that you want to look out for. And you can also usually tell just by feeling the item. It always feels like quality, and Lululemon just has that kind of feel that you can tell that's the brand it is, but you always want to look for that logo. So these are a pair of Lululemon women's running shorts, and I sold these really, really quickly. I had them listed for $38 with free shipping. To be honest, I did not spend the time to look up the exact style name on these. Like I said, the tags were ripped out, so I didn't have any style numbers to look up. So I just did a quick comp on running shorts. I think I might have even typed in pink running shorts and just got kind of a feel for what they would sell for, which I think was around $35. So to give myself a little bit of an edge over some of the other listings, I did $38 with free shipping, and they sold at full price. Another Lululemon item. Now, I have really stopped picking up tank tops for the most part from Lululemon because they just don't do as well as they used to anymore. But this one seemed like a very modern top, and it had a lot of detail. So it is a striped metallic thread throughout. It has a strappy back, which is the main reason I picked it up. And it also had kind of a bra built in, and then a scoot back. So because it had so much detail and a little bit more going for it, plus it was a size 8, and I mean, this isn't necessarily a large size, but usually you only find like size 2 and size 4 in Lululemon. So to have a size like a size 8 or somewhere around there is more rare, I guess you would say, and more sought after. So for all of those reasons, I picked this up, but I did want to say don't just pick up every Lululemon tank top you come across. This one I had listed at $29.99 with free shipping, and it did sell at full price. Next up is this Lilly Pulitzer women's tropical tunic top. Lilly Pulitzer is a great brand to look for. They sell a lot of bright prints, which is why people pick them up. This was a size large. I knew this would do well just because of how loud the print was and the fact that it was a tunic top. This one I had listed for $34.99, and it did sell at full price. I picked up this Abercrombie top because it was completely full of sequins, and it was that interesting rose gold color. I took a chance on it just because I liked the style, and typically for me, all over sequins does well. Abercrombie and Fitch definitely isn't a brand I pick up all the time, but because I had all those factors going for it, and I thought someone might want to use it for the holidays or even a New Year's Eve party, is typically when people wear stuff like this. Went ahead and picked it up, listed it for $24.99. It ended up selling on an offers to watchers for $22.49. Next up is this Hot Topic women's, I guess, kimono, skull printed. Hot Topic, I'm just going to say it is definitely a Bolo brand for me these days. I never used to pick it up, but every time I do comps on it, it has a really outstanding sell-through rate. It might not sell for a ton, but it is becoming my bread and butter because it flips so quickly. So this one I had listed at $24.99, and it sold on an offer that I sent out to watchers for $22.49. And again, that did not take long to sell at all. This is a sweater by the brand Kabi. I believe this is a newer tag by them, so a more modern style. I definitely don't pick up this brand every time I come across it, but I really like the asymmetric details of this with the side slits and the zipper details. This was also just really soft. I knew that it would be a crowd pleaser. This one I had listed for $25, and it did sell at full price. So moving on to Poshmark, this is the giant sale that really took my sales to the next level this week and really made up for those lower eBay sales. So if you're not already cross-posting onto other platforms and you feel comfortable doing so, it's definitely worth the investment. There are a lot of tools out there like List Perfectly or like Vendu who make it really easy to cross list. If you're not comfortable with it yet, obviously don't do that because there are some things involved with that that cause a little bit more work, but all in all, I definitely think that the benefit outweighs the cost. So this is a vintage 1970s dress. I actually did not know the age of this, but I did know that it was old. I added myself to a vintage and antique dating Facebook group and I posted this and I had a lot of great help from people on that group helping me to date this and giving me some keywords. Somebody also told me that they sold a dress like this for, I think they said $350. They might have said 300 on Poshmark. So with that in mind, I actually went and found that listing and her dress was very similar to mine. So that is how I got my pricing for this as well. I listed around that. I actually took comps from Poshmark versus eBay and I listed at that price. So I'm so happy that this sold for full price $350 on Poshmark. If you are thinking about picking up vintage stuff, I would suggest getting into a group where people are more knowledgeable than you because I definitely did not know enough about this. I just thought it was absolutely beautiful. It did have a few light spots of staining due to its age, but it was in really, really great condition otherwise. This actually did not take very long to sell. I would say maybe a month or two. So I'm really, really happy. I already got great feedback from the buyer who is thrilled to be wearing this down the aisle. So wedding dresses are definitely not something in the past that I was on the lookout for, but you can bet that I will now be looking at wedding dresses to flip online. This next one is a blogger favorite by Zara, which in Zara, I definitely don't pick up everything by them, but some of their things are blogger favorites, and you can tell by searching the style number that's right here on Google. You can kind of tell where that price is going to land. So sometimes it can sell more than the original retail price if it's no longer sold and if it was a blogger favorite. This one definitely was. It was basically a sheer overlay dress. And I could just tell by looking at it without even looking anything up that this was going to be a blogger favorite because it's just so unique. This one I found new at tags. I do believe I paid about $15 for this. But again, I knew. So this one I listed at $75. Some on eBay were going for way higher and some were going for way lower, so I just kind of found that middle ground. Looking back, I kind of wish I would have priced higher because this sold in like hours of me listing and it sold on Poshmark for my full asking price of $75. So someone snatched it up quickly, which means I probably could have gotten more for the item, but nonetheless, I made a really good profit off of this, so I'm happy to get that sold. Here's a brand I don't find very often. The brand is Sorel. Sorel is a brand that makes a lot of outdoorsy stuff, but they also include some fashion pieces. They're well known for their shoes, and their shoes are really well made. I was happy to find these. I looked up the style on the inside and saw that these were called the Joni Gladiator Wedge Sandals. These also did not take very long to sell. They ended up selling for $65. Here's a brand that if you really focus on picking up the right item, you can make quite a bit of money off of it. The brand is SAS, S-A-S, and it's, I hate to say it, but kind of an older person's shoe because they're made for comfort, and this brand used to be a lot more popular than what it is. So I think people who used to buy these when they were popular are looking for them now, and that's who's picking these up. I only buy SAS if they are in almost new condition or new condition. If there's anything wrong with them, I typically do not pick them up. These were called the Alamo hand-sewn brown leather loafers. Really excellent condition, almost new. So I sold these for $50. I will say they have been sitting for a little bit, but definitely worth the pickup if you find them in almost new condition or new. Here's a new brand I just learned about. It is called Oriani or Oriani. I'm not sure how to pronounce it, but I found this on the carts coming out of the back room at Goodwill that they hadn't gotten onto the shelves yet. So I always go look at new racks and new carts first and foremost because usually those items have not been looked at yet by other buyers. So typically you're going to find some pretty good things on there. So I actually picked up a few purses off of this cart that day, and this was one of them. I looked up comps on this because this felt like quality leather. I really like the different toned colors through this. I thought it was a really nice, neutral, but interesting handbag. And the inside was branded with that Oriani branding throughout, which told me that it might be worth something. I did find the tag that said it was genuine leather, just to be sure. It did have a small spot on it right here. Nonetheless was in really, really excellent condition. Some of these bags are going for a lot more than this, but I actually was able to find the exact style name and did comps based off of the style name, and because of that I priced around $50. I think I had a price actually at like 60 or 65 and accepted an offer of 50, and it sold really, really quickly. But it's important, if you can, to find the style name or similar styles in that brand, because if you don't price correctly, it's going to sit for a long time. This is a pair of Lululemon running shorts. I found these on the same day that I found those pink running shorts in the same new rack that I went to. These were listed at $35 and they did end up selling at full price. This is a vintage pink denim two-piece outfit by the brand Stefano. I guess the brand's actually Stefano International. These items were actually separate at the thrift store, and once I found both of them, I knew that this would be a really good sale. So anything two-piece, vintage, high-waisted, I just like the unique details of this, plus it was pink. This ended up selling for $45, but I definitely keep an eye out for unique vintage pieces, especially when I can find the matching outfit. This is one of my bread and butter brands. This is Logo by Lori Goldstein. They make really comfortable but fashionable clothing, and this brand is sold on QVC. I try to pick up the substantial pieces, meaning they've got a lot going for them. So this was a button-up cardigan. You can see I pointed out a very light stain here. Here is the tag if you're not familiar. So I picked this up because it was a cardigan. It had some lace detail at the bottom. It was button up, plus it was plus size. So for all those factors, I knew that this would be a good sale, and this ended up selling for $28. This is an American Eagle embroidered sweater. I like picking up American Eagle when it has a lot going for it, and I just thought that this was so cute. You can see I had a lot of interest on this. So a lot of interest here and eBay, but I ended up selling this for $25, which I thought was a good asking price for American Eagle. But if you come across American Eagle and some unique pieces, I'd say it's definitely worth picking up. This is an Affliction shirt. I wanted to show this because I don't pick up everything Affliction, but the reversible men's shirts do pretty well for me. So you can see, you can turn it inside out and wear it differently. This one had some unique colors to it. It's kind of a pink, purple, and a black. This sold really quickly at $25. This is a brand that I just learned about. Sorry for the curse word for anybody that did not want to see that. This is by the brand Rip and Dip, which honestly I looked this up because it would just look really unique, and kind of humor shirts sometimes can do really well. So I was able to quickly look up Rip and Dip shirts, and I could not find this exact one on eBay comps, but I did know that this brand was doing pretty well, and I noticed that some of the more unique pieces sold for really good money. This one, since I could not find this one, I knew that it was somewhat more unique, and I had this listed, I think at 35, and it sold at full price. You can see I had a ton of likes on it. But this sold relatively quickly. But if I came across this brand again, this Rip and Dip brand, I would definitely consider picking it up. This is another one of my bread and butter brands. This is the brand Spiritual Gangster. I've come across quite a few of their sweatshirts lately, so I'm happy about that. Here is the tag, and they just basically make a lot of graphic shirts and sweatshirts. Their sweatshirts do pretty well. I usually get between 30 and 35, sometimes more if it's more unique. But they're really easy to look up. I accepted an offer of 27 on this, which is a little lower than I normally would, but I went back and forth with the buyer and they came up and met me halfway a little, so I went ahead and accepted that offer. But usually I'm getting between 30 and 35 for these, so keep your eye out for this brand. Next is the brand The Great, which I just recently learned about. This brand is sold at Shopbop, and honestly, it was a little bit difficult to find comps for this. I think because of the period at the end. It wasn't until I found that it was sold on Shopbop that I was able to do a little bit more information. But I originally picked this up just because I loved the style of this and it looked like it was a high quality item. So this one ended up selling for $35 and the buyer told me they absolutely love it. Last item on Poshmark is another Lululemon item, and again, I didn't bother looking up the style name on this one. I just kind of looked up black gray crop pants and tried to figure it out from there. These sold for $30, which I was happy with. Again, didn't have the tag, just had to look up that logo. And the one sale that I had on Depop was this Carpetbags of America vintage overnighter tote bag. I originally started looking at this because of its Western blanket, I guess, carpet style look. This was a tapestry bag, and it did have a few signs of wear, but overall in pretty great condition. And this Carpetbags of America, these vintage bags, depending on style, can do really well. So that's why I picked this up. This sold on Depop for $40 plus $8 shipping.
Alright guys, so that is it for today's What Sold video. I hope you guys enjoyed watching. Drop a comment down below. Let me know how your sales are going this week. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next one.